Good morning. It's Margaret at the University of Sewing, and it's Facebook Live. And look at all this. I got everybody. So Megan's here, and Kaitlyn's here, and Denise is back again.
Good morning.
So
where were you?
Well,
she's
not usually here on Saturday.
That's true.
She's not usually here on Saturdays, so we're really, really thrilled to have her. We have had quite the busy week.
Oh my word.
It was really
Awesome.
busy. It was
Fantastic.
wonderful. Thank you for everyone who came to Vanita's embroidery class. You guys made the most gorgeous stuff. Everybody went home with beautiful things.
Yay.
And I think it was really exciting to hear everybody say that some were like, I didn't know if I would like tiling, but I wanted to try it. And the tiling on the embroidery, that's where they made those beautiful 4 pieces and sewed them together for the center of their bag. Oh my God, they were so pretty. And Vanita did her usual fabulous job. Thank you, Vanita. We were so glad to have you. I bet you're still tired.
She'll need a vacation.
She will need a vacation after all that. But it was really fun, and we had a great time. And so the next time we have an event, where are you? You guys got to come and see us. Well, guess what? We are having an event.
Imagine that.
Lots of them.
Really, really cool thing. So we are having some really great events coming up and some great classes. And so one of the things I really want to talk about today are those things. But in the meantime, I'm going to hand this off to Kaitlyn, and she gets to do the van thing. And I'm going to get out of the way for a second because I'm
having a hot flash, y'all. Okay, today's giveaway for those of you who are new, and maybe just a reminder for those of you who haven't been with us for a while. Today we have this giveaway. In order to win it, all you have to do is click the share button and then type shared in the comments, and we will choose someone within the next 24 hours. So even if you're watching the recording later, go ahead and share it because you have 24 hours to do so. But today's giveaway is this pattern for an everyday tank. And it comes in a short version. I'm trying to figure out which one's short. This looks short.
Short is probably like right at your belly.
This looks medium, and this looks long. So you got a short, a long. Oh no, there's only a short and long version. There's no medium. But you can make it a medium version if you alter it a little bit. But what's great about it, I'm looking at how much fabric you have to use in it, and I'm sure you all have like 1.5 yards, 2 yards of fabric lying about that you don't know what to do with. Make this guy.
Yeah, and you know what? Do a mock-up. You use the fabric that you went, oh my goodness, what was I thinking when I bought that?
Yeah.
So we all have the shirt in our wardrobe that we were like, what was I thinking when I did that?
Tear it up.
So this is your fabric. Use the fabric that you're going, what was I thinking when I bought that? Get yourself a mock-up, and then you'll figure out what little tweaks you need to make on the fitting, and you're good to go. It's really simple. There's only 2 pieces.
And there's some nice just pleating or
Gathering.
It's
okay. It's okay.
I think
they call it mini pleats. Decorative
mini
gathering.
There you go. Who knew?
So anyway, so it gives a nice little shape too around the neckline. So that is today's giveaway. Again, hit the share button, put shared in the comments, and we will reach out to you if you won and ship it anywhere. Anywhere.
Okay.
All right.
So, Vanna, are you done modeling, or do you have something you want to share?
Oh, do we want to talk about the pants that I made?
Well, step out here on the runway.
Oh, on the runway? Okay, so I made the Picasso pant, which I've been eyeballing this pattern in the shop for a while. I made it out of linen here in the shop, and they're so fun. I can do like ninja moves. My friend was telling me that they do look like ninja pants. And it's lovely. Like, these are going to be my everyday, my everyday lounge around in the summer pant. But then, you know, you can make them like dressier depending on the fabric you use.
And how many did you say you're going to make?
I'm going to make so many of them. And even my friends like, you need to make me a pair. I'm coming into the shop and finding fabric because I want a pair. So it's this, the Picasso top and pants. I haven't made the top yet. But I did the pant, and it's just got this lovely little,
and these are set up
like
for
lantern. I think they
the top is set up for knits, and the pants are set up for wovens.
But I think I'll probably do a top in woven as well because I love working with wovens.
You know what? The way
And
this
you're a
top
rule
is made,
breaker, too.
the only thing I'd say
I'm a
is
rule
make sure
breaker.
you can get your head in there.
That's true.
I've done that before. I made a top one time that was supposed to be out of knit, and I made it out of a woven, and then I tried to get over my head, and I was like, I have a little head too.
Oh no. So yeah, these pants, the pattern was super easy to follow. The instructions were great. This took me just a day, like a day and a half maybe, because, you know, other things cropped up.
You had to cook?
I had to cook, I had to clean, you know, I had to work. But they're great pants, and what I'm going to do next time is probably add a pocket in here, because there's no pocket, and we all love pockets. So, great pattern, I love it. If you're just beginning to sew clothes, I think this would be an awesome pattern to start out with, because again, working with the linen is so easy, and I just really enjoyed the process. So Picasso pant and top.
Gold star for Kaitlyn. Nice
Oh,
job.
oh,
Yay.
and I pulled out some of the linens.
Yeah, look
this
at
is
these.
just a few. This is the one I used, and these are the other colorways of it. But we have so many other linens, and we have linen rayon blends, which that would give you a drapier look.
And not as much ironing to do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
it
you
depending.
didn't care about that, did
I
you?
like the wrinkly, crinkly, worn-in look of linen. So
There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's super cute. All right, guys. When are you going to
and
make
that's the
yours?
that's the last of that pattern too.
Oh,
That's why I made sure to snatch up the one last week.
you didn't tell anybody it was coming down to one? Bad,
Oh.
Caitlin. Okay, we'll order some more. I
We can
promise.
fix that for sure.
I will order some more, and we'll take care of that. Okay, so we just got in some new Marcia Derse.
Love Marcia.
So we got in some beautiful Marcia Derse. Oh, we're going to talk about the fabric real quick, and then we'll do all the classes. I know she's just disappointed. Did you see that? Like, okay, all right,
fine.
Okay, we're going to start off with this 108-inch. We're going to put these guys up on top of those guys. Okay, we're going to start with this amazing 108-inch wide Marcia Derse, and this is really beautiful. It is called Marble Run Spotted Graphics, I believe.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it was really a mouthful. You know, I think they're running out of names. So, but isn't that so cool?
It's just fun.
I just love it. It's beautiful. It's going to make some great everything. I can see this on backs of quilts, but I'll tell you what. On the right person, it's kind of a cement color, I would call that.
That's a great way to describe it.
And I think that on the right person, this is going to be a gorgeous. You could make it a little jacket.
Oh, yeah.
You could make it into a cute pair of pants.
How fun would that be?
And you're looking at me like I'm nuts. Or it could be a great dress. So I think that is going to be really fun.
I love it when we
I'm
get a
gonna have
fabric.
that off.
Margaret,
Okay.
I love it when we have a fabric that will do so many things.
Okay, and then another Marcia Derse, and this is the Spotted Graffiti line, but this is 108 inches wide too. So if you are thinking that you want to do something with Spotted Graffiti and you wanted a backing for it, wouldn't this just be perfect?
And this is great for those people that are just starting to play with their machine quilting because it kind of hides those quilting stitches on the back. It's not going to show them off.
Oh, you know what?
So-
I wonder if, this
Do
thread
we have
right
a
here.
variegated, Margaret?
This thread
yes.
right here. Look at the variegated thread. Wouldn't that be pretty
That would be
on
really
it?
cool with it.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We have been playing with variegated threads, and one of the fabric lines we're going to show you today, we have a quilt on the long arm, and one of the variegated threads that we've used on that has turned out to be so interesting because it's completely blended in with the fabric.
It's perfect.
It is
for that
so
fabric
perfect.
line.
Okay, so I'm going to finish up with Marcia Derse first because, of course, we need to do that. So if we can keep handing me a couple more of those. There's all kinds of dust floating in the air right now.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm just going to point out that these were kind of the older Marcia Derse, okay? This one was an older Marcia Derse, and we got some new Marcia Derse, so this is an older one. Look how pretty they are. They're so beautiful. Wait till you guys see the new colors.
So gorgeous.
So gorgeous. So, what we've got now, how about orange? Now, anyone who knows me, orange is not really my color. Yellows and oranges, I'm kind of always iffy about, but this is gorgeous. That is just beautiful. How about an amazing pink?
I love the pink one.
The pink one right here. Look how these go together so incredibly. They're so pretty. So we've got that. We've got an amazing red. That red is spectacular. You know, those of us who love our Bernina stuff.
I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody either.
I know lots of people that love our Berninas.
But I'm thinking that might be my next top.
Oh,
So,
that would be fun.
although, if you saw me on, was it Wednesday or Thursday? I was wearing a blue top, and I saw this, and I thought, oh my goodness.
You could do that blue for
This
sure, Margaret.
blue is so pretty.
It is pretty.
And these are soft. They're not stiff. They're really nice, but they're still quilting fabrics.
Right.
I don't mean to say that when I say they're not soft, they're not stiff. I just want to say that they are still quilting fabrics. You're not going to have any issues with these. They work out really well. We also have an amazing purple to throw in here.
And we've already sold lots of the purple.
The purple has gone out the door, flying out the door. And then there's this really interesting one that pulls the orange and the teal. How cool is that?
It's a fun combination. Something a little different.
Very different. And you know what's really interesting, though? They didn't make a teal this time.
No, they didn't, did they?
They did not make a teal this time. So the one that kind of is interesting and almost stands out all by itself is this acid green. It really does go with a couple of them, but man, I had to search here. Look, we can do it with this one.
I love that.
That's pretty fabulous. And then we have this one. It also goes really well with that one. These are so spectacular.
I'm thinking you need to do another round one.
I know, that's what I was thinking, is it would
We'll
be
make it a
really
whole
beautiful.
series, right?
It's so cool. Okay, so those are amazing, and if you guys,
Gorgeous.
they're gonna go. The colors are just so really, they're very big and beautiful, and I think that if you are looking for something unusual, you want a little bit of, a real pop of something fun.
Margaret, this is one of the older ones.
It is one of the older
But
ones.
I'm not typically drawn to the more contemporary prints, but I have used this one in multiple quilting projects just because it plays so nicely with so many other prints.
Yeah.
And the same thing would work for any of these. So even if it's kind of out of your typical line of what you're thinking of, maybe grab, a yard or two of this just to see.
Okay. All right. Now, Dave, you're going to have to go over and we have to show off the quilt first, and then we're going to come back and look at the fabrics. So, come on this way. Come on. He's trying not to make people dizzy.
Yeah, no, we don't want
He's
people
trying
nauseous.
to make people not dizzy.
That's never fun.
So, okay. So, this is the quilt that we are going to show you the fabrics from this. Okay? They are really, it's a gorgeous, like, rust color. It's got some orange and some red in it. It's got a beautiful indigo blue going on.
I love that there's this combination of the warm colors and then that really cool blue at the same time.
Yes, it's pretty fabulous. But I wanted to show everybody, of all the things that you would think to use on this for quilting.
And can you guys explain this a little bit? I know both of you know it, but if you just look at this, you think it is a quilt.
Oh, no, well, you're not supposed to tell them it's not.
Hey, that's a secret. Shh, you're spilling the beans,
He
Dave.
is. He's telling secrets on us.
So a quilt is just, layers that are sandwiched together and attached, right? So
Right.
yes, it will be a quilt. It isn't a pieced top.
So
though.
if we're not supposed to tell them that, could we say I quilted it because I took it out of the bag?
Okay, so what happens is, fortunately for us, our quilt companies have figured out that we can't make samples as fast as they get fabric to us.
So true.
And it's really hard for a shop to be able to keep making quilt after quilt after quilt. I mean, I'm just telling you, even just putting a couple borders around things and then quilting them and binding them and finishing them, it takes us a lot of time.
It takes a village.
Well, and we don't sometimes have a village. Sometimes I'm lucky if I have, this week I've been really lucky to have Denise many days, but
She's tired of looking at me.
no,
guys.
I'm
That's what
not.
it is.
I wish this were every week, but this is unusual. And so what happens a lot of times is that, you're just really struggling. So the quilt companies have figured this out, and now what they're doing is they're doing some pre-cut quilt kits.
Yes.
Which is really nice.
Fantastic.
We also are putting kits together ourselves. This one is called the Heirloom Quilt Kit, and you can purchase this. And so we put the kits together for this one, but this is actually a big panel. And we are going to use the long arm, and we're going to quilt it. But I've been doing some really fun stuff. I've been using my markers, and I quilted here. But the quilting, because of the color of thread I used, is really blending into this.
I love it when it happens that way.
I think the only thing I could have used on this that wouldn't have worked that way is maybe bright purple.
Right? Well, that's true. That's true.
So this is really fun because I'm doing some pretty things, but it's also, if I make a mistake, it's not a big deal. But this is the thread color I'm using. And this is our Arrow Quilt variegated thread. I've got it up in the top, and I am using our Isacore in my bobbin. So it is turning out beautiful.
Margaret, on the subject of thread, I know people online have said that they have struggled to make variegated work in their machine, that they have to tweak things. Have you experienced any of that?
Okay, I did.
Okay.
We were using a variegated thread, and we were using a specific design that when the design went from the right side of the quilt to the left, it would shred the thread every time. When I made the design go just from the left to the right with the Q-matic, it worked just fine.
Yep.
It worked just fine.
Gorgeous when it's done.
And that quilt is our zebra quilt.
Yes.
So we will hopefully have that ready to show you next week. All we have to do is put the binding on that, and it is ready to go. But we have the zebra kit available.
We do.
And we have this Heirloom Quilt Now kit available. So we're going to come back over here, and we're going to show these gorgeous fabrics off to you. Because even if the kit, I think that pattern, that medallion quilt pattern, is really good. But if that's not your, that is not your thing, then what we've got here is all the fabrics, and you can do something else with them. And again, we have these gorgeous indigo blue colors, and some yellows and some oranges and some rust. Oh, you found.
I just wanted to give a little tease about our little zebra friend here, since it was handy. And so that's the kit that we have.
Right, and our quilting on it was done with a variegated thread. So this was our Arrow quilt done in shades of oranges. And
It was perfect for this particular project.
look at how pretty this
It's
looks
awesome.
with it.
Yep.
And you know what? We could
Oh
have
my
used
word.
we could have used it on this too.
Yep. That would have been good.
And that was one of the ones I was considering. But I really loved the idea of that blue because I was pulling these cool colors. But, it blended more than I thought it was going to. So that was kind of surprising for me. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is experiment and play a little bit because you know what? Those variegated threads, the Arrow Quilt variegateds are very subtle. They don't, like, when I've been using them, I have not gotten a lot of stripy effect.
Right, yes.
And sometimes with variegateds, you get a very striped effect. Now, if you want that, that's fabulous.
The question is, what is the thread brand? And it's Arrow?
It is Madeira. And here, let's pull out some of these so that people see them. Look how gorgeous these are. So,
And these are 3,000 yard spools. They are 50 weight, Margaret? Or are they 40?
I think they're 50 weight. I'd have to look on the computer.
We're
going to have to look probably. No, it says it's a 40 weight.
Oh.
It says it right there.
Perfect.
Okay, so there's all these different colors, and there might even be a couple more I didn't pull yet. Oh, look at this yellow. I forgot about that. Yeah, here, look at this. Oh, I already pulled that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That one's fun too.
These are just all really gorgeous.
And are these online?
Yes.
And that website is universityofsewing.com. And of course, we ship anywhere.
And they're called Aero Quilt. A-E-R-O quilt.
Yes.
You guys can all spell quilt. We can all spell quilt. I can't spell anything else in the world, but I can spell quilt. So we have these beautiful fabrics here. So this is brand new line. It's going to be in your latest arrivals. It's from a company called QT Quilts or QT Fabrics. And there's someone we've been playing a little bit with their stuff. Mm-hmm. We've been getting a few things from them. They're kind of a different feel for us. So this is a little more what I would call traditional. You know what I thought when I saw this line is that it looked like an elegant Oriental rug.
Absolutely.
So no, these are not Oriental prints, but somehow when you put everything together, they have almost kind of an arabesque kind of feel to them. Yeah. They're very, very, but then they have this great daisy. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but it's pretty fabulous. Okay, so we have some things going on that I want you to know about. One, let's most important one. Have you thought about, are you thinking about that maybe you want a long arm in your life? You know, they come from everything as small as a sit-down unit to a big, long frame.
Absolutely.
So, if you've been thinking that maybe this is something that you've considered, what I would recommend to you is that you join us for Robin Fippens. We're having a wonderful event with her, and she is going to do several classes that we're going to be talking about just the long arms. What features do they have? What can they do? You can play around on them some. You'll be able to try out ruler work. You'll be able to try out just quilting on them. You will be able to do free motion. But we also are going to feature, for those of you interested, what if you want to have that Q-matic where it actually, you program it in and you stitch it using that? How does that all work? What is that? Does that interest you? Because it's a pretty big investment.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure that you can try this all out, that you get an opportunity to do this. And what if you've already bought a machine?
Oh, good question.
So if you've already bought a machine, we are going to do also a class that Robin's going to come in. She's had her own long arm business literally now for 20 years. No, wait a minute, 10 years. Okay. Excuse me, 10 years.
A long time either way.
She's had her own business now for over 10 years. And she is a Bernina expert. She knows these things, and she is ready to come in here, share all this with us. And you know what you also get?
What do you get?
A $25 gift certificate. When you sign up and you show up for class, you'll get a $25 gift certificate to use in the shop. And that isn't dependent on you buying a long arm. You just get that because you came and enjoyed our event. So, but you have to sign up, and yes, it does cost something to do that. It's a $50 investment, but it's well worth it, because what's going to happen is you're going to get that $25 coupon, and you are going to get all this wonderful knowledge that while we have tons of it here, there is something different about the person who does this every single day.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
You know.
Margaret. I just thought of another group of people that might be interested in this. Maybe a long arm is not on your radar at the moment for yourself. Maybe you send your quilts out to your long armor. If you come to this, you will understand the process a little better, and you might be able to work a little better with your current long armor to design.
That's a really good idea. I hadn't thought of it.
And have better
from
questions for your long armor too. So even
and maybe know what they can do, what they can't do.
Yes.
Why that's so important that you're that this is all like not straight or even,
Right. Yes,
and why
yes.
is that a big deal?
Right.
So those things are just a really big deal.
More
So-
information is always good, no matter
Yes,
where you are in the
yes,
process
yes,
of that
yes.
quilting.
So, okay, so we're going to talk about like a whole bunch of classes here now. We're going to mention these classes. So the classes right now are coming up. So one of the things we're doing this month is we're going to do a mastery class on Q-matic. That mastery class on the Q-matic for the long armors is on the 25th of April. That will be at 1 p.m. It's going to be a 3-hour class, and you are going to learn about markers, and you're going to learn about boundaries, and you're going to learn about how do you set up your system so that it knows what that is set up as. What you are supposed to put in how big your quilt is.
Yes.
Did you know
Yes.
that? You are supposed to do all these other things. So that is coming up. Now, do you have someone in your life who is a fairly new quilter?
Sure.
I mean, almost all of
Yeah.
us know someone who's just
Absolutely.
getting started, okay? So for the starting people, we have some amazing things coming up. We have a rotary cutter class coming up,
That's cool.
That's a fantastic idea.
right? We throw them in, we hand them a mat and a rotary cutter and say, go ahead, cut.
There you go. Right.
So we have a rotary cutter class coming up. We are going to be offering some beginning quilting classes. Those are coming up pretty soon. So I want you to know that isn't in this month, but it'll be coming up. We are also going to be offering some Garment Academy classes. So Garment Academy, your beginning classes for garments. The next one coming up of that is on April the 4th. So you'll be doing that at 10:30 in the morning. You can join us, and it is called Holding It Together. How are you sewing those seams, and what are you doing so that they look good and are actually going to function the way you think they're going to?
So no duct tape in that class? To
No
hold things
glue,
together?
no duct tape,
staplers,
nah,
and-
none of that.
All right,
Okay.
good.
So another class that's coming up is our BSR class.
I signed up for it.
Oh, good job.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited. It's a fun class.
Because it's been sitting in my box since
No.
I bought it. I
No,
think
no,
I
no.
got it out once, and I was like, I need to learn more about it.
Dust it
So
off.
I'm so
come in and
excited
play.
for next week.
Everybody who owns a BSR, if they don't come to this class, is silly.
That is silly.
It is really silly.
agree.
You spent a bunch of money on that machine. It came with a BSR.
Yep.
If you want to machine quilt, can you machine quilt something other than a quilt?
Well, of course, you could machine quilt anything. You could machine quilt a bag like our students did yesterday.
Yeah,
You
and-
could machine quilt some clothing.
Yes, there we go.
Ding, ding, ding,
okay.
ding. That's
yes,
one you were
that's
looking
one
for.
I was looking for.
You guys know what a BSR is. Spend
Oh.
30 seconds to explain that.
Okay, so a BSR is called a Bernina stitch regulator. It is a foot that you attach to your sewing machine, and it helps regulate the stitches, so instead of them coming out long and short and everything in between, this is going to be something that you are going to be able to, you drop your feed dogs, you put on this foot, and you move the fabric, and when you're moving the fabric, it stitches. When you stop, it stops, at least in BSR.
It's
mode.
fun.
There's
It's
some
fun.
cool stuff.
And the whole purpose of it is to keep those stitches consistent sizes. So you don't have the big ones over here and the little bitty ones over here. And
Yeah,
it
so,
just looks so
like
much
if
nicer.
you're going slow, it
Of course.
it just goes slower than if you speed up moving, it speeds up.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's fun.
it is
So I'm,
fun.
I'm
It is
really
fun.
excited about next
Awesome. And there
week.
is still room in that class. So check out the website or give us a call to join us on
Yes,
this.
hang out
we
with
wanna
us.
do that. Okay, so I'm going to not mention at least all of the classes because some of them are filled already. So, but I want to tell you about the ones that aren't filled. So we have open sewing coming up next weekend on Saturday and the 15th. We have open sewing. So make sure that if you have a project you've been working on and you want some friends to hang out and sew with, you come and join us.
Absolutely.
Okay,
The
so
more the merrier.
so we have that going on. We have a silver bobbin mastery class coming up. Does anybody know what that means?
silver bobbin.
The silver bobbin, like the 335 machines.
The 335, the 330, the 325, all the stitching, the machines that if you open your bobbin up and you have a silver bobbin in it, that's the machine that you are going to want to bring to come to the Silver Bobbin Mastery Class.
Yes.
Do you know how much it costs to come to a Silver Bobbin Mastery Class?
I don't know how much that one is.
How about $15?
$15. That's a bargain.
$15, and you can learn about your machine and what it can do. And I highly recommend, if you have not taken it, that you take the time out and do that. So that's going to be on the 11th of April.
Margaret, let's talk just for half a second about the mastery classes.
Yes.
We have lots of people that are Bernina lovers. They've had Berninas for years. Maybe they get a new one. How important is it, even for those people, to come to a mastery class?
I will tell you that it is really surprising to me that when someone has, especially jumped generations of machines, and when they don't take a class, especially when you can come to the class for just a material fee cost. I mean, that's all it costs you. You have to come, we spend like a whole day on the new versions, the 435s, the 475s, the 480s, up to the 790 classes. We spend a ton of, that class is 6 hours long just for the sewing part.
So even
do you think you'd learn anything in 6 hours?
That's my thought. Even if you've been sewing for 1,000 years and you've been a Bernina person for 2,000 years, you're going to learn something in this class.
It is really, it's amazing how many new things are available on these machines. But you know what? We do a class for the person who doesn't know anything about sewing.
Sure.
Coming up on the 12th of April in that evening at 6:30, we have a class called Sewing Machine Demystified. Now, I will tell you, almost every month it sells out. Almost every single month. So, if you are interested in learning how to use a sewing machine, now I'm guessing most of our watchers right now, that's not them.
Sure.
But maybe it's their daughter or their niece or it's their grandson or whoever.
Right.
It's just shocking how many times we will get, sometimes it's all young people one month. Next time it's all people in their 50s. It's really crazy how that works.
And we talked on Friday about graduation gifts coming up. How cool would that be to gift a wonderful machine and lessons to use the machine?
That's it. So if you're thinking you know somebody who's interested in sewing but hasn't jumped into using a sewing machine yet, I'd highly recommend the Sewing Machine Demystified class. Okay, so what else do we have coming up? Are you a member of the American Sewing Guild? If you're not a member of the American Sewing Guild, maybe you should consider being an American Sewing Guild member. They do video classes online. They have all kinds of interesting things for the garment sewer and the quilter. So you should really consider maybe something like that. That happens in our shop. We have a neighborhood meeting every single month, and that except for in August and December. We do not have meetings for the American Sewing Guild in August and December. But the rest of the year, we have a meeting every month, and that meeting is on the second Thursday of each month, and it starts at 2 p.m. So if you are interested in getting into a group with a whole bunch of like-minded sewers, I think you will have a lot of fun coming to those. There's always some sort of presentation, things to learn, and we would love to have you. We also have the Studio Art Quilt Guild meetings here. So that's also another one that we do. And for some reason that isn't on here, and we need to make sure that that gets on our calendar.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was just going to say, make sure they check out the website for that because it does update often.
Yeah, that's important. Okay, the last of what I want to point out is that there's embroidery classes every month and embroidery software classes every month. Our Bernina embroidery software classes are free. You don't have to pay anything, just come and visit. If you are thinking that you want this software but you haven't made the plunge, because it is a little bit, it's a little bit of money.
Sure.
It's an investment. So if you haven't made that mind up yet, all you have to do is go ahead and come to class. But we would like you to register so we know how many to set up.
That helps for sure.
So, and we're doing a quilt label, embroidered quilt label.
Love that idea.
You have a machine that will do embroidery.
I do. Why are you giving me those eyes, Margaret?
Wink, Kaitlyn, wink.
You have a machine
all
that you
need
can
to.
do embroidery. Okay, guys, I realize I have run late, but I wanted you to know about all these different classes. Go on our calendar and take a look at it. What you don't realize is that I need to get going and get ready for my class this afternoon. It's the whole day actually today. So Kaitlyn and Denise and Maegen are going to take care of you guys. Come in and shop and have a great day. Everybody, it has been fabulous to see you. Don't forget to share the videos.
Please share.
Put shared in the comments if you've shared. And you could win this pattern, and we'll send it to you.
I might need that one, actually.
It's really
I
cute.
might try that one.
It's really cute. Okay, guys, have a wonderful Saturday, and we will see you next Friday for Facebook Live.